making sure that we support people through tough times, as I've said we would. So it's a big bazooka. It's £1,200 for 8 million homes across the country, £300 extra for pensioners who are entitled to cold weather payments, another £150 for people who are on disability benefit, and of course putting more money into local government to help families who are finding things particularly tough. Look, I'm not going to pretend that this is going to fix everything for everybody immediately, and there are still going to be pressures, but it's a very, very substantial commitment by the government to getting us through what will be, I'm afraid, still a bumpy time with the increase in energy prices around the world. And what I think it will also help to do is just get us through until I believe that prices will start to abate and we'll be in a much, much stronger position. The reason we're going to be in a strong position is because we have so many people in work helping us to, giving us the tax base we need to look after everybody else. And it's a high wage, a high employment economy that we want.
In terms of some of those figures, Prime Minister, are you worried that spending 10 billion more than you are going to raise from the windfall tax levy may be inflation?
Well, we've looked at that very carefully, and I think that the answer to that is no, because I don't think that it will lead necessarily to more discretionary spending, simply because people's outgoings are going to go up and have been going up already as a result of the increased cost of energy and food. So it's intended to help to match the needs of people right now. We can do it because we're in a strong economic position. We've got loads of people in work, earning. We've got unemployment at the lowest level since 1974, which I don't think people would have predicted when we went into to COVID, into all those lockdowns. And it's what we're really dealing with is the aftershocks of COVID, the economic aftershocks of COVID, spiking energy prices. We've got to get through it. We're using our fiscal firepower to do it, and then we'll come out much stronger the other side.
What's the difference then between the Labour Party and the Conservative Party on tax and spend?
Very simple. So when it comes to this particular policy, what it does, for instance, is it's much more generous. This gives £1,200 for every for 8 million households. But what it also does is the levy is designed so that companies can offset investments that they're making in new energy supply or in green technology to the tune of 91p in the pound. And so what we want to, and this is what I've been saying for months and months, you've been listening carefully to my answers, we want to have a solution that protects people, but also protects investment in our economy. Because as we come through this, the way to fix the problem of inflation in energy prices is also to have more sustainable energy supply in the UK. And that's why we're moving to 50 gigawatts of wind, 25 gigawatts of nuclear, and all the other investments that we're making. But we need the private companies to do the same.
You mentioned the raft of help announced by the Chancellor yesterday. That is a temporary measure, as he said, one-off payments. How is that going to help families who are struggling long term? Because really it's a sticky plaster, isn't it?
We've got to do stuff that is timely, it's the right time to do it, it's targeted at the people in it. So 3/4 of the homes that will benefit will be those who are the most vulnerable. It'll overall about a third of the households in the UK will benefit from what we're doing. So it's a temporary thing, because after all, what you want is the natural strength of the economy and the people's wages, people's employment to be continuing to power us forward, and that will happen. But what you need to do is help people to cope now with the particular spike in energy prices that Ofgem predicted the other day.
You say you've helped people now, but there's an argument, isn't there? Because a degree of families aren't going to need this help. There are some people who will get it with 2 households or get it more than one. So isn't this a policy which benefits people who are already wealthy at the expense of the taxpayer?
No, I just said that the overwhelming majority of the homes, the households that will benefit, are those that are most vulnerable. This is massively redistributive. You should look at what the IFS and others have had to say about it, or the Resolution Foundation. This is a massively redistributive policy. It is the right thing to do. You know, people need to be protected.
Respectfully, the Chancellor said yesterday he would donate his £400 to charity. Were you going to say?
I think it's well, my arrangements are different because I live in a government flat, but I think it's important that people should recognise that these payments will not necessarily cover the increased cost fully. I mean, you know, we can't cover every single cost that people are going to face. We've got to be realistic about that. And however, they will go a long way towards helping people.
Moving on slightly, Prime Minister, 4 more of your MPs have called for your resignation since the publication of the Sue Gray report. Are you confident you've got enough backing within your party to survive?
Yes, but I think I gave some pretty vintage and exhaustive answers on all that subject the other day in the House of Commons, and then in a subsequent press conference, and we really gave that.
You were aware of what was happening. Why did you tolerate the culture, Prime Minister, that was happening at that time?
I think if you look at the answers I gave in the House of Commons over more than 2 hours, I think you'll be able.
You don't feel people deserve to hear it from you here in person?
I think you'll be able to see I answered that very, very extensively, and then indeed subsequently to representatives from your organisation in a further press conference later on. And what I also said was that what we want to do is focus on driving jobs, driving investment in this country, and what we're doing today is we're talking about getting people off welfare and into work. And one of the most remarkable things about what's happening today is that we're helping people into gigabit broadband, but we've got 347,000 people off welfare and into work, thanks to the way to work scheme that we set up.
I've got an important question here.
Yes.
In the North East. One of our viewers called Mark, who lives in County Durham.
Yes.
He contacted us. He's struggling with his bills, with his energy bills, and he is currently, as we speak, at a car boot sale selling possessions to help him get through to the end of the month. What can you say to Mark and people like him who are really on the bone? So
to Mark and everybody, let me say first of all, I know how tough it feels for people, and I know, and it will continue. I can't pretend, Mark, that we're going to fix everything, but we can certainly help. And so for people like Mark, what we're doing, and for people who are facing particular hardship, what we're doing is we're giving, in addition to everything I just said. So there's the £1,200 to 8 million homes.
We do know this, Prime Minister.
We're putting another
continuing to do more, and people are continuing to struggle.
Let me tell you what else we're doing.
We need more.
That's right. So what we're also doing is another £500 million to local councils to help people like Mark who are facing particular hardship. Now, I'm not going. So my message to Mark is we're going to help you in any way that we can. We can't fix everything. We should not pretend that we can. But what we will do is make sure that we are in an economically robust position, so that we have people in high-wage, high-skilled jobs as we go forward. And we continue to invest in infrastructure, continue to invest in skills, continue to invest in technology, and that is the best long-term solution for the economy.
You had phenomenal success here in 2019 across parts of the North East. However, Brexit has been pushed through. Cost of living crisis is biting. Your popularity has taken a hit in the polls. Do you feel this is an area that is slipping away from
It's not. My job is not to give any kind of running commentary on politics. I have to get on and deliver for the people in this country, and that is what we do. Thank you.
Mike Reynolds says we got away with it. Do you feel we did?